Shredtown. Cool to pull up this folder of 2,757 saved pictures. Chris, Abadie, Andrew Adams, Davis Griffin. Super cool to shoot with these guys over the years. And I don't even know how we met. I guess I gotta go back to some of these photos and see. Looks like the first time we ever shot and met is Andrew Adams on a wake surfing shoot, I think, or driving chase on the lake with Jeff, which is pretty funny. Wake surfing. First time I ever hung out and met with Andrew Adams. Who would believe that wake surfing would be the first thing we'd ever shoot? I would not have guessed that, but I do remember. That's pretty funny. This day we did the Citrus Bowl, which was super cool. I think these guys were in town, and I was like, we gotta winch something, and figured we could come up with something at the Citrus Bowl. And we grabbed a big old pair of bleachers and brought it over there. Andrew sessioned it a couple times. I can't remember if anybody else hit it, but yeah, that would have been the first winch mission of many that I ever did with these guys. Shooting some film back in the day, Pentax 6.7. This is too funny. I'm with Chris Abadie. The name of the photo is Andrew Adams' buddy. So at this point, I'd never met Chris. And yeah, and this would have been the start of my first trip out to Texas with these guys. I remember it was super cold, and I was stoked to be out there. Those guys had built all kinds of crazy stuff to get ready. Andrew was always so prepared with every shoot, you know. It was like, Bear, you're flying in this month, and then we're gonna be spending like this month and the month before just like building as many ideas as we can. It was always cool to see like how he had everything planned out in his head so well, just like so methodical, and always had like a style and look to everything, which is pretty awesome to see this stuff kind of looking varny. Yeah, that would have been the first original setup right there of all their stuff. That's pretty funny. Davis always being heady, chilling out camping. Man, this is cool up on the hill. Yeah, I remember this being super cold. I know Andrew was braving it here, not riding in a wetsuit. Those guys were definitely like down to always make it look cool and just like, all right, we got to get the shot. You're here. Like, screw it, no wetty. Young Davis, man, so many pictures of them walking with all their boots over the years, so much stuff. This is insane. That's pretty awesome. Corrugated a firecracker down the stairs. Chris, super steezy as usual. Chris is definitely one of the craziest wakeboarders I've ever seen. He's a cat, like, never gotten hurt seriously wakeboarding, never had a busted knee, never seen him freaking ever like not get a spot done, man. Just the gnarliest rider you'll ever come across for sure. This was awesome, man. This is, you know, Shredtown's from Athens, Texas, small town, classic little town. We trying to do something different with the boot idea, so we went up there and asked the local skate rink if we could shoot a couple shots. I can't remember if we actually skated or not. Yeah, I was always grabbing these guys and pulling them over in some weird spots. Super scenic Texas where they're at, and all the driving around, we'd see crazy stuff, and I'd be like, all right, you boys get out there, whether it was like an abandoned building or some crazy woods or anything. This is the road to the ranch from the lake house. We were always pulling over and shooting stuff. Yeah, this is a big cool shot of the ranch back in the day. It's not as pretty in winter for sure. The trees are a little dead, but Davis getting super steezy. I remember about this time it was like grabs on rails. It was like, are they cool or are they not cool? Shredtown was never scared to bust them out there. They didn't really care what people thought, and you know, grabbing on rails quickly became the thing to do. I definitely have to say these guys were some of the first people to really just stick to it and say like, all right, this is cool. Oh man, this is some woods by the lake house where just so many leaves grabbed Davis and took him over and did some weird shots. Man, the teepee on the island is too cool. Andrew's dad bought this, and I think it's like one of the exact same ones off Dances with Wolves set, or some kind of replica from that set. And it's definitely a cool chill spot out there in the island on the ranch. Sometimes there's some spiders you gotta watch out for, but definitely cool little safety meeting spot. Davis on a step down. So awesome to see these guys like give every rail a look. They definitely always put the extra effort in on like making a theme and not making it always just like, you know, what works. It's like always visuals for sure, making it look better. Chris is not scared of a kicker. Super steezy all the time. Out on the town in Athens. Oh man, this is the Fiddler Fest in Athens, Texas, which is amazing. It's like a wild in the streets party that, oh man, these guys got recognized by some dudes from their school, killing it. Superstars in Athens. Pretty cool to see these from Andrew that long ago. Definitely the 1-footer out of the boot is making its way around again in a lot of stuff. I was always like, why don't you just wake skate? It's obviously pretty wild to be doing, and good way to mess your knee up, which it looks like Andrew's already got the brace. This is a wild setup Chris envisioned, which sometimes I don't even know how this comes together, and it's like, all right, you're gonna just slam into this thing and stall, kick down and ride out, but he crushed this. Man, this is like on the road to the main park. I've seen like so many different setups, or we'll see so many different setups like over the years from this, but this was the kind of original. I think once Chris gapped the entire land thing, he then put in this handrail. But yeah, this is pretty wild. It was funny to see this grow over the years. I can't remember. I think the winch was just full pinned, of course. This was a super fun shoot. Super cool to get both of them in the shot. I think that was something we started to like continue to do over the years, was always like try to get all three of them in the shot. Or oh, Davis and his motorcycle, he got this thing and was so pumped to shoot some photos on it. In true Davis fashion, looking great. This is the Shredtown ski. Andrew had this thing, what do you call that, rhino lined, which it made it super heavy, and if you got it up on shore, you would totally just like get stuck. This spot's super cool. There's just a little layer of water on it, and Andrew sessioned it. Super sick. Yeah, this is one of the coolest spots I've seen them come up with photo-wise. Another spot, you can see there's only like an inch of water, if that. Davis hopped down this. I think he ended up hopping down 3. Man, this spot's in the middle of Houston. This was really crazy. I don't even think we got busted for this, but this is like a bustling downtown park. And these guys had scoped this out and we're like, it might only be one hit. But I think Chris hit it 2 times and we got a super epic shot. This spot was gnarly. This is another spot only Chris would hit. Super short start up from the corner and just like gnarly for him to get up the way he did on this thing. I think that was my favorite one. This lady was a rad Shredtown fan. This was a wild night out in who knows where, Texas or Oklahoma or something. Chris had gotten some weird ticket we had to go pay, so like while we're driving to winch spots, we have to stop by and stay in this town for like Chris to pay this ticket. And of course I was like, we gotta go into one of these weird bars, so we went into Tommy Dean's private club. As always, these guys are down for a good time. We're always making friends. Especially Davis. Man, this sculpture is wild. I can't remember the name of the guy who made this sculpture, but I think I ended up emailing him some of these photos. It's right off the side of the highway somewhere in Texas. Chris had to ollie like over chest high to hit this sculpture, and it's so cool. I think it was a weekend because it was definitely a place like there was like a corporate headquarters for something. Yeah, just such a beefy hit. Such a cool spot they found. Houston's gnarly. It's always super hot and super dirty winch spots, but tons of cool urban stuff. Always trying to blend in. Man, this spot was crazy. I didn't even know what Chris was gonna do. He's explaining to me he's gonna ollie to concrete and then go in the water, and it's like, are you sure you can do that, dude? That's really gnarly. I don't even think we waxed that spot. Yeah, Chris is like, I didn't even know what he was thinking. Like, wouldn't that just blow out your knees? Ooh, this spot, I think we got a cover here too. Super cool little drop laid back Davis was doing down these things. Always coming up with the most creative spots. Oh man, this spot was wild. This is where we had a kind of like a rage out neighbor incident that came and just like saw us doing this and was so fired up. He grabbed Andrew's board, ran with it, and then came back and brought it to us like after he'd calmed down or something. I don't even know. It was wild. Super mad. Yeah, I want to say, or no, he took a swing for Andrew's camera and he stole Davis's board. It was crazy. So these were the only 2 hits we got in before that guy did that. Jesus. Crazy Texas steer along the way. So classic. This is one of the first people to see do this. The Shredtown construction magnet on the side. So killer. Totally look official wherever we go. So we figured we had to shoot an official photo too. Lake house is crazy. There's so many like weird taxidermied animals and stuff. So we had to include the beaver here, which Andrew shot on the property, which is pretty classic, and had it stuffed. This was cool. The boys came to Orlando, and I was like, man, I want to show you guys the latest photos we shot. So we found like a huge white wall behind this warehouse and just did a big projection on the classic Shredtown van. I think this was, I finally got a water housing around this year, I guess it looks like, because these are the first water housing shots of these boys. Oh, these shots were rad. Even just catching the startup with these guys, it was always cool, and these guys are always down to shoot this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think about this time, like Shredtown was popping off so hard and everything they were making look so good at the ranch that we decided to start shooting the slingshot shoots out at the ranch and kind of let everyone have a little taste of Shredtown life. Davis doing this hand plant was super rad. I remember his arm just like giving out on him, or him not like having it perfect and just slamming so hard. Yeah, this shot, this was crazy. This is Chris doing another one of his crazy gaps. These guys built this little mini pool, glorified pallet kicker to do this crazy gap, which is just the normal road drive in. And of course, like I said, we were always like, we gotta get everybody in the shot. This was rad. I know it took Andrew who knows how many times to land a 3-shove on his wakeboard. I know it took him forever, but we had to get the super sick still of it. And another time where I was like, Andrew, you might as well just wake skate, man. Ben LeClaire back in the day. Man, these are some of my like favorite lifestyle shots of them. Definitely just like super cool, milky light. I think I was shooting my 1.0 probably all the way out to get that extra depth of field. Yeah, it's crazy shooting at the same place so many times. It's like watching these guys grow over the years. Oh, this was at my house back in Orlando I used to live in. I had this 70s room that was like just all done up and looked like something out of the 70s. The Jamboree was a really crazy, I think, like changing point in the sport, especially because it was like the first time the ranch got open to just new people and see what everybody could do with kind of like all these crazy contraptions these guys had. And everyone just crushed it. It was like one of the funnest times ever. Everybody was like vibing hard, riding so hard. And like one of the coolest, I guess you could call it, contest environments like there is. I'd drive my van like whatever the 14, 15 hours out there because I'd end up staying for a whole week shooting with the rest of the slingshot crew after the Jamboree. It was always so fun to just be posted up there for that long. Byerly came with me. Man, this was one of the craziest sessions to go down to Shredtown that wasn't Shredtown, which was Graham Burris just coming in so hot to Jamboree one year, hitting the craziest stuff, going insane. I think he knocked himself out maybe even like twice riding that weekend and was just not scared to like just go crazy. And man, it was really impressive. But to see him like climb up higher and higher on this wall they had out there was amazing. So rad having all these dudes out at Jamboree. This is definitely a wild time in wake to kind of have this group of people, just so unique and such a cool event, man. Definitely probably the only real contest I ever go to or had gone to and stuff. So this is classic spot, Winchtopia I think they called it. I think they had gotten a cover here before, or like, man, but one of the coolest natural crazy water features. There's like 3 of these in a row going down this hill, and there's so many different ways to hit it that those guys were always down to go back. Davis getting sneaky with the winch right there, just trying to be camoed in from the street. Yeah, Chris firecracker down this thing a couple times and then hit the little ledge there, perfect. Yeah, that was one of my favorite shots, getting Andrew in the shot, filming too. I remember this shoot, it was like right before a storm came in. I had my lights out, I was super nervous it was gonna rain on them. I was like, Chris, you gotta get one perfect. This is another one of those spots where it's like, Chris, how are you gonna hit this thing? But he has no problem landing in concrete. We got busted here, but I think we ended up going back to this spot. I think we definitely did. Yeah, this spot was way cool. Chris rode up that ledge so perfect. Backside 180'd out. I remember where I was standing, it was like a little bit of water, and Chris was starting right next to me, and there was a whole nest of moccasins right down the way that scared the shit out of me and made me jump out of the water. But Chris needed to hit it good one more time, so I was like, I didn't say anything to him. I was like, hey, you should start a little further down there. And then he like moved down a little bit, and I was like, all right, he's good. And then he hit it perfect. And then afterwards we wrapped up, and I was like, man, we were like by a whole nest of moccasins. I think this is another spot we went to a few times over the years. Super cool, right under the bridge, gap down. This was wild. I think we didn't even have this spot on the map. Drove through it, saw it from the road, and just fully flooded. So cool. Had to hit it, even though I think we were 3 spots deep that day. This was like our 4th spot for the day. Davis got a couple hits in before dark, and then of course to get in the 5th and final winch spot, he took a couple cars down this little path. Jamboree 2, so rad. Really wish that contest was around. Just such good times with your friends, and best vibe, best riding, best chances to shoot all these guys. And man, every rider in the whole industry is so stoked to be at Shredtown and to ride all the stuff. You could tell it took its toll on Andrew and stuff, because at the end of the day, you're just building so much stuff and working so many months, and then all these riders come in and shred it, and then you can't really shoot on it afterwards, or you have to change it up, you know, to get something different. So, you know, everybody should be real thankful to those guys for making such cool stuff for them. This was a wild night at the ranch. I think last night of the Jamboree, everybody was going wild. Man, this was some of my favorite shots ever at Shredtown. Just a super early morning. We finally did it. Super early mornings were rare. We were always so tired from full days of shooting. But Davis got up before the crack of dawn. We got everything ready, cable turned on, and Davis just crushed it. Just even the simple carves look so good, but the shadows coming through the fog on this oak tree really, for me, made it one of my favorite shots I've done in wakeboarding. Man, these were always some of my favorite shots. They were like, you know, Andrew was always bummed on, we'd shoot on the Jamboree stuff all weekend, and then it was like, well, how do we shoot on it? Everybody's got photos, so we came up with this idea to hit the stuff while we were deconstructing it. Came out pretty great. The We Do is pretty classic that Andrew has out there. Helps out so much with building rails and stuff. Such a weird little boat, but super useful and awesome. Yeah, this was like Andrew always with the great ideas, taking care of me, cooking me breakfast in the morning, so might as well combine it. We came up with this idea, got out there, chilling on the picnic table. Classic Shredtown breakfast right here. Davis almost died on the first hit here. Man, he got hung up so good. Very scary. Couple of battle wounds from being in there. This is next level Jedi winching trick, courtesy of Chris Abadie. Wax on the end of a nail, on the end of a 2x4. Get your spot right. Tips from the best right here. Always fun reviewing the shots of these guys. Yeah, this was one of the last shoots we ever did together. This was pretty much kind of like last time ever hanging out with these guys. It's just crazy to think over the years, just all they've done, like all we've done together, man. Almost like 11 years shooting together or something. And sad to see them out of the sport. Everybody moves on and does their own thing. So, yeah, just kind of like fortunate to have these last couple of sessions with them. This final shoot we did together was a little bit of an arm twist on my end, I felt like, for sure, because I knew these guys, they weren't riding as much, they weren't hanging out together as much anymore. Just, you know, life takes over, you go your separate ways, and these guys are forever connected because of Shredtown, which is awesome, you know. So I think it was a big change coming, and I think I saw it, and kind of push those guys to get together and like really like come together one last time and have a cool final rally, and just so fun, bittersweet, you know, doing it. So many years like shooting with those guys though, so much fun. At the beginning, man, I didn't know what to think about them. Winching at the time was like a wake skater's game, and there weren't many wakeboarders doing it, and maybe it like didn't even seem that cool for wakeboarders to do it, but these guys like just came in with their own ideas and made it so epic. Those guys changed the sport, the three of them, in a way like nobody could. I think they got a lasting impact like few other people have, and it's really cool to see like Space Mob and all these people that have kind of grown from like that blueprint that they created. But Shredtown will be Shredtown and always be legendary.